Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs. Or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story.
I'm the wolf. Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. You know, maybe it's because of our diet. I mean, hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. Way back in a once upon a time, I was baking a birthday cake for my dear old Mima. I had a horrible, terrible sneezing cold, and I ran out of sugar. So, I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house of straw? So of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, "Little pig, little pig, are you in?" There was no answer. God, how rude. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old Mima's birthday cake. But that's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed a great sneeze. And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell right on down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig. Dead as a doornail. Oh, poor thing. He had been in the home the whole time. I mean, it seemed like an awful shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate him right up. Nom 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 nom. Oh God. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. 700 calories, whatever, it's my cheat day. I ruined my favorite Aeropostale shirt, so I had to go home and change. So I threw on my favorite Urban Outfitters Paid Fleece outfit with matching Uggs, and I was feeling a little better. But I still didn't have any cup of sugar. So I went to my next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not that much, between you and me, of course. He had built his house out of sticks. I rang the bell on the stick house. Nobody answered. How rude again. So I called, "Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in there?" So he yelled back,
"Go away, Wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving your hair down my chinny chin. Oh, shucks, I cut myself."
I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffled and I snuffled. I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed. Another great sneeze.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
You're not gonna believe it, but this guy's house fell down, just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Oh, poor thing. Wolf's honor. Now you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Oh, thank God it's gluten-free. Think of it as a second helping. At this point I was getting awfully full. So I had to go home and change to hide the muffin top.
These boots are made for walking.
So I threw on my Vineyard Vide outfit. I only wear it on fat days. I just love that whale logo. How ironic. But my cold is feeling a little better. But I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old Mima's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built a house made out of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. These rude pigs. So I called once again. Mr. Pig! Mr. Pig! Are you in there? And do you know what that rude little pork chop answered?
Get out of here, Wolf. Don't bother me again.
Talk about impolite! He probably had a whole sack full of sugar. And he wouldn't even give me one little cup for my dear, sweet old Mima's birthday cake. What a pig! I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffled and I snuffled and I sneezed, a great big sneeze once again. Phew! Then that little third pig yelled,
And your old granny can sit on a pin.
Now, I'm usually a pretty, calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my Mima like that, I tend to go a little cray-cray. So, when the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down the pig's door. And the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the two pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar. Didn't sound very exciting.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Huff and puff and blow your house down.
So they jazzed up the whole story with all that, and they made me the big bad wolf. And that's it, that's all she wrote. The real story, I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar.